are. If you practice for 5 minutes, you'll stop making that mistake. It's just a little bit of practice. I am, you are. If you practice a few minutes, you'll understand the difference. And grammar is really, really important. It's super important because you need it if you want to speak and have other people understand you. It's very important if people need to understand you, because what you need to do is tell stories. You need to tell them what you think, what you feel, right? If you use incorrect grammar, you might be telling an incorrect story. Like, for example, if you say something like, I like did. If you say I like did instead of I like doing, do I think you're talking about a story you did in the past, something you've done? Do I think you're talking about something in the present? I don't know. I can't figure it out. So then I would have to ask you again, right? If you use incorrect grammar, you'll be talking about an incorrect story. Okay? Yeah. What does general mean? Or journal? Journal. It comes from French, actually. Jour. Jour means day in French. So journal means you write a journal, right? You write something about what you did today, what you did, what you felt, what you liked, what you didn't like, right? So it's just a little story about your own life. That's a journal. What you did, what you're going to do. Okay? Yeah. Don't know what that says. I'm assuming that's an insult, but I can't actually tell. 滚你的英文听不塌塌的. I don't think that's an insult. Honestly, when you guys insult me, I can't actually understand if it's an insult or not. I can't tell if someone's insulting me or if someone's not insulting me. I have no clue. So you can insult me if you want. It doesn't really affect me. Yeah. But if you guys like English, if you want to get better at English, you can subscribe in the top left corner. My name is Eli. I grew up in Canada. I was in Canada from 6 until 18. I have a 9 on the IELTS, so you can be sure that my English is good. I'm using easy and short sentences or I'm using easy words in easy and short sentences, so you guys can come and watch and listen and try and get better at English every day. You can donate a fan sign if you have 10 cents. That helps me out, and you can also use your fingers and tap on the screen like this. This also helps me out. Thank you so much. I'm not too sure what that says. How much time is left in my stream? 20 minutes. I still have 20 minutes left in my stream. That means you can listen to me for another 20 minutes. You can ask questions for another 20 minutes. And you can obviously repeat after me and practice your English for another 20 minutes. So my recommendation has always been to repeat after me. If you hear me say a word, you can repeat the same word, right? If you hear me say something like something, you can say it right now. A lot of students make mistakes with this word, something. It's S and TH, so S and these two sounds, something. So it's something that you need to practice. So many students say something or something, right? But you need both. Something. It's a lot of practice. The reason my accent's clear is, first of all, I grew up in Canada, so I speak good English. And second of all, I teach English, right? I teach English. So as a teacher, I need to speak clearly and slowly so you guys can understand. And it is freakishly clear because I've been doing this for a while. Yeah. I don't know what that says. Do I usually eat Chinese food or Western food? If I'm going to a restaurant, it's probably a Western restaurant. Because I believe, at least in China, it might not be a Western restaurant, but in the West, at least, if I was in Canada, right, if I were in Canada, I would probably go to a Western restaurant. But if I'm at home, I always eat Chinese food. I always eat Chinese food because it's either my mom or my dad cooking. So they only cook Chinese food. They never cook Western food. So again, when I'm at home, I only eat Chinese food. And then if I'm going to a restaurant, I, at least in Canada, almost always eat Western food. And then in China, I might eat a mix of Chinese food, Korean food, Japanese food, and Western food. So that's what I'll probably have in a restaurant in China. But I think in China, the foods that I have the most often are Korean food and Japanese food. Yeah. So, for example, one of my favorite dishes is Korean cold noodles. It's a northeastern dish. It's from Heilongjiang or North Korea or South Korea. It's basically noodles, but it's cold. It's cold and the broth is cold. It's sweet and it's spicy and it's very, very good. It's something that I really like. It's something I personally prefer. Like I'll try basically any cold noodles. So basically, almost every time I go to a restaurant, a Korean restaurant, a barbecue restaurant, I'll order cold noodles. I'll buy some cold noodles. Almost always. It doesn't matter when I go to this Western, or not Western, but Korean restaurant, I always have cold noodles. Every single time. Yeah. You're beginning to understand. Good. Beginning to do. Like that's grammar, right? I am beginning to do, right? I'm starting to do, right? To do. So I'm beginning to understand. Good for you. If you keep practicing, you'll get a lot better. Messi or Ronaldo, I don't watch soccer, but I would say Messi because he has the globe. He won the globe with Argentina. I don't know what it's called, but he won the World Cup, I believe. But Ronaldo hasn't won the World Cup yet. So I think that's the difference. I'm not too sure. Again, I'm not a football fan, but that's what I would say. Okay, cold noodles don't taste good. Not taste good, right? Cold noodles do not taste good. They do not do, right? So this is why you need to have good grammar, right? If you say not taste good, I can understand, but in other situations, I might not. So they do not taste good. They don't taste good. Okay, and of course, it's a subjective opinion. Yeah. Subject. How do you say this word? Subject. There you go. So subject. There are technically two ways to say it, but one is a noun and one is a verb. Okay, a lot of words in English are like this. Record, record, right? It's the same with subject. Subject and subject. Upset, upset, right? There are two ways to pronounce these words. One is a verb, one is a noun. Okay, one is a verb, one is a noun. So subject, like math or science, is a subject I learn. Subject is what I do to you. I subject you to my English. I make you listen. I force you. I make you do something. I force you to do it. I subject you to my English. I subject you to my work. I subject you to blah, blah, blah. I force you to listen. I force you to learn, right? I force you. That's to subject. So subject, subject, right? Yeah, that's the difference. Yeah. A lot of words have two different pronunciations in English. It's like in Chinese when you say xing or hang, right? You use it in a sentence and you'll know what it is, right? Like when you see it in a sentence, you'll know if it's xing or you'll know if it's hang, right? Or resume and resume, right? Or for example, right, upset, upset, right? There's a difference between these words. Yeah, record, record, right? Yeah, it's just a little bit of a difference. How do you say nowadays with an A sound? Is nowadays with an A sound? No. Well, days is, yeah, days, right? Nowadays. But the rest is not. Welcome, welcome. But again, hopefully I can see your questions. There are a lot of people. If I don't see your questions, ask it again. Ask it again, right? Just type it again. I'm very sorry. There are obviously 3,000 people here. There are 3,500 people here. It's very, very difficult for me to see all the questions and to read all of them and to answer all of them. So it takes a long time for me to get through everything. Hopefully I can help you guys out. Sorry if I don't, okay? But also, if you want to support me, what you can do is you can join my fan group by pressing the little heart in the top left corner. You can donate a fan sign. It does help me out. It's 10 cents. It brings more people into my stream and it tells Douyin that you guys like me. You guys can come and watch and listen every day. I'm trying to give you guys an immersive English environment. I grew up in Canada and I have a 9 on the IELTS, so you can be sure that my English is good. You can come and watch and listen every day and hopefully you get better. How do you pronounce Kyle? There you go, Kyle. I don't know what that says. How do you say elaborate? Is there a difference between the two A's? Yeah, so one is an A, one is an A. Right? Like apple and bait or late, right? Or cake. So elaborate, right? So a. It's a very, very big difference. If you just practice, you'll understand. Okay? Carpo, P is, how do you pronounce the letter P? You always make an at the end of it. Yeah. So when you're doing a sound like p, right? A lot of Chinese people, they say at the end because when you learn pinyin, this mistake comes from pinyin. So when Chinese people learn pinyin, you say like b, p, m, f, d, t, n, l, right? You do after every sound. But in English, you can't. You can't do it. You need to just make the sound by itself. B, p, m, k, t, f, right? That's how you need to make sounds. So when you're speaking, like for example, help, right? It's just air. There's no sound. What you do is you can take your hand and place it on your vocal cords. Place it on your vocal cords and there's no vibration. So if you say right, it vibrates. But there's no vibration. No vibration. No vibration. So again, you can use your hand to check. If you say p, right? Oh, there's a vibration. Help, right? There's a vibration. But if you say help, there's no vibration. It's just a little bit of practice, right? You need to practice not adding the sound at the end. So it's a p. It's just air. It's just the sound of air. So p, k, t, right? Just a little bit of practice without the sound at the end. Okay? Do I have a girlfriend? I wish I did. I wish my ex was back, but too bad, so sad. You don't get what you want. How do you say pleasure? The S sound, right, is a zh sound, like a ZH or a J sound, zh. Pleasure. Yeah. Thank you. How do you say Cantonese food in English? Cantonese food. Do many native speakers use fewer and less wrong? No. Fewer, I mean, to be fair, they're technically synonyms. They mean the same thing. So like, for example, I have less apples than you. I have fewer apples than you. They mean exactly the same thing. But in terms of grammatically, no, people don't use them wrong. They're synonyms, right? So again, they don't make those types of mistakes. How do you pronounce the in sound? You place your tongue at the lower part of your mouth. Right? That's how you do it. You're just humming, basically. It's very, very easy, but it does take a little bit of practice. Yeah. How much do I have on the IELTS? Oh, I have a 9. Yeah. At least on the writing, or on the speaking, sorry, not on the writing. On the writing, I only have an 8.5. So I'm not the best at writing, but I'm also not the worst. How do you pronounce jewels and jewelry? There you go. Every university has a spy. I don't even know what that means. Yeah, but I'm not in university. If you guys like English, if you guys want to get better at English, you can come to the stream and watch and listen every day. I stream twice every day at 12 and 9:30. My streams are an hour each, so you guys can come and watch and listen and hopefully get better. And you can ask me questions in the comment section down below. Thank you, Xiaozhu. I appreciate that. Thank you. I'll do a little salute there for you. Thank you. Yeah. But honestly, my personal opinion, let me quickly tell you guys about this right now. With words that you want to pronounce, if there's a word you don't know how to pronounce, if there's a word that you don't know how to translate, what you should do is download this wonderful application called Google Translate or Youdao Translate or Cambridge Dictionary or whatever. But the point is, you don't need to ask a teacher every time you want to translate something. You can translate it online, right? You can listen to the pronunciation online. You'll never have access to a teacher 24/7. If you want to learn something, you need to learn immediately, and the best way, the absolute best way to learn the pronunciation or to learn the translation is to just translate it and listen to it on a translator. So like go on Google Translate, if you translate something and you listen to it, you'll understand what the word means. Right? That's how you guys should be learning. So you'll know what it is, you'll know what's right, you'll know what's wrong, and you can mimic after that pronunciation. So again, that's what you should be doing. So you can use any AI, any translator, as long as it can pronounce the word for you, type the word in, it might be able to translate for you, and then you'll be able to repeat after it. Okay? Do Chinese people think grammar is important? It is. It is. Everything's important. Everything's important. Some people say pronunciation isn't important. Some people say fluency isn't important. Some people say grammar isn't important. Everything is important. If you don't know the words, you don't have anything to say. If you don't have good grammar, what you say doesn't make sense. If you don't speak quickly, no one wants to listen to you. So you need everything. You need to speak quickly. You need good grammar. You need to know more words to talk about more things. You need everything, right? You need everything. So it's not just one or two things that you need, but you need everything. So if you don't know anything, this is what your English sounds like. That's if you don't know the words, you don't have any fluency, and you don't know the grammar, right? So you need everything. If you don't have the grammar, your English is going to be really wrong. No one's going to be able to understand you. If you don't have the fluency, if you don't speak quickly enough, no one's going to be able to understand you. If you don't have enough words in your vocabulary, no one's going to be able to understand you because you won't be able to say what you want to say. So you need everything, right? It's not black and white. A lot of people think it's black and white. I need this. I don't need that. You need a little bit less of this and more of that, right? So again, a lot of people think you need 100% of one and 0% of the other. But in reality, you need about 70% of everything, right? Just a little bit of everything, okay? That's the goal. How do you remember English words? By using them. If you use words, you'll get very, 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 very good. So it's all about putting words in sentences, conjugating words, changing words. So for example, swim, right? The word swim. If you take the word swim, a lot of people only practice one type of word, swim. Like I swim, I swim, I swim. And they practice that one sentence over and over again. But that doesn't help you. What you need is to change the word. I swim, you swim, he swims, she swims, they swim, I swim every day, I swam yesterday, I will swim tomorrow, we like swimming, I'm swimming now, right? Practice changing the word. It's called conjugation, verb conjugation. You need to change the word, right? If you don't change the word, you won't be able to use it. Right? So again, it's not just about taking a word and saying it once. It's about taking a word and changing it, putting it in different sentences and using it. Okay? Yeah, that's my recommendation. And that's how you make any word muscle memory. So if you want to make a word yours, if you want to be able to use it whenever you want to, then you need to use the word a lot now, right? If I say apple, you know what an apple is. Right? You know what an apple is because you use it every day. Apple this, Apple that, Apple iPhone, Apple Watch, Apple headphones, Apple this, right? So you know what an apple is, right? When I say apple, you can think of the picture, but you don't do it for all the other words, right? So you need to use English a lot every day. What is this? Microphone. What is this? This is a phone. What is this? This is a necklace. What is this? This is my hand. What is this? This is a finger. What's this? This is a fingernail, right? So it's just practice. It's just a lot of practice. If you practice, if you speak more, you'll be able to understand. Okay? That's all it is. Speaking more and understanding. What's the difference between the der and the d sound? The and the. I don't know what that question is. Mom hole. I can't believe someone's still on that meme, dude. What is that? Like that crossword puzzle thing? Or like that like not crossword, what is it called? Like that, what do you call those things? Crosswords? No. Like finding letters, right? It's like the person was pretending like they found mom hole every time. Yeah. How do you think in English? So that's what I was talking about earlier, right? What I was talking about earlier is the first thing you need to do is you need to know words in English. When you see a word, when you see a thing, when you see something, you need to know the English name. Like, what is this? This is a phone, right? What are these? These are cameras, right? That's how you think about it, right? So the first thing you need to do is you need to understand words in English. You need to understand the names of things in English. Like, what is this? This is a pen, right? What is a neighborhood? A neighborhood is a place where a lot of people live, right? What's a bus? A bus is a big car, right? What's a van? A van is a big car, right? What's a skyscraper? A skyscraper is a tall building, right? That's how you need to understand words. You need to use English to understand English. You use English to understand English. You use pictures and ideas to understand English. And then you can start putting those words into sentences, and that's how you think in English. So it takes a long time to be able to think in English. It's very, very, very difficult. It's definitely not easy. Okay? Yeah. Someone said, I think in Chinese. I definitely don't. Yeah. 天哪，中国人的思维，外国人的口音，真的吗？ Yeah. I don't think I think in Chinese or yeah, I think you're just wrong. Yeah. Can I quickly say something? Like when you say 中国人的思维, do you even know what that means? You think like a Chinese person. I don't think you know what that means. Right? Like for example, when we say people think like a Chinese person, that's like, for example, when people say like, oh yeah, 雨 like 雪上加霜，然后我硬要翻译 snow frost on snow， 中国人思维 right? Or for example, 锦上添花 something well roof like that's thinking in Chinese. But that doesn't help you, right? I don't do that. Everything I say is something a native speaker would say because I have a 9 on the IELTS. Nothing I say is Chinglish. If I spoke a single phrase in Chinglish on my IELTS, I would not have a 9. Fun fact. Yeah. So again, I don't speak or I don't think like a Chinese person. Well, it depends on what you mean by thinking in Chinese, but I don't. Yeah, you're just wrong. Welcome to the stream. But if you guys like English, you guys can come and watch and listen every day. I'm trying to give you guys an immersive English environment. The schedule's right here. I'm trying to give you guys an immersive English environment. I stream an hour each time. You can come back and watch and listen. My name is Eli. I grew up in Canada. I was in Canada from 6 until 18, so you can be sure that my English is good. I use easy words in easy and short sentences, so it's a lot easier for you guys to understand. There's a lot of repetition, so you guys can keep listening, and in 20 or 30 or 40 days, you'll be able to understand almost everything. You can repeat after me and practice. How do you distinguish the two different pronunciations of the? There's only one pronunciation of the, and it's the. Well, I guess one is the and one is the. The. But it depends on the person. Like some people say the apple, some people say the apple. There's no difference. Your name's Anna. Oh, nice. What's up? Well, my name's not Anna. My name's Eli. Yeah. Your name's Jenny, apparently. I don't know. Yeah. You sound like a nerd. Thank you. I'm gonna take that as a compliment. You're in Australia. You know who else is in Australia? My ex. Thanks. Okay, anyways. Class is dismissed. It's time to end our class, guys. So in English, we say class is dismissed. It's time to go to our next class or it's time to go home. If you guys like English, if you want to get better at English, you can come back tomorrow at these two times. So 12 and 9:30. If you need to, again, set an alarm on your phone. Right? Set an alarm on your phone if you need to. You can come back tomorrow. I'm one of the best English speakers on this platform. Duh. Yeah, I grew up in Canada. So you guys can come back and watch and listen. If you're early, you can ask questions earlier, and I basically talk with you one-on-one if you're super early. Yeah, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for coming. If you guys want to come back, I'll see you tomorrow. If you don't want to come back, that's okay as well. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you for coming to the stream. I appreciate you guys. Go practice your English by yourselves, okay? If you're not going to sleep, practice a little bit by yourselves. Speak a little bit by yourselves. Use English. Write a little bit in English. Read a little bit in English. Listen to some English. These things all help you. They slowly add up. A little bit of practice now will help you in 2 or 3 years. Right? So a little bit of practice now helps you in the future. So practice now. Okay, practice now. Thank you for coming to the stream. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay? Bye. The schedule's right here. And if you haven't already, subscribe. What the hell is this? If you haven't already, subscribe in the top left corner right there. Bye. Signing off.